Hi guys, welcome to the summit. Today we have Sean Selby and Tom Tindall. Is that how you say your last name?
That was
Tindall?
perfect. First
Beautiful.
time.
Okay, so for anyone that's not sort of got to know you guys very well, do you mind giving a bit of background, sort of how you've got to where you are today?
Yeah, okay. So I started dancing at the age of 7. I grew up in the city of Wolverhampton. I was a bit of a studio hopper, so I tried all different styles, all different dance schools, theatre schools, and things like that. And then yeah, I just grew and fell in love with it. Fell in love with performing. So I did a few local performances, and then I got really lucky, and then auditioned for a professional musical at the age of 12, and I got into that. And then from then, I joined the National Youth Music Theatre for 2 years. And then from then, I just thought, okay, this is something that I clearly love and want to do. So I wanted to pursue a career into it. So I did some more further training, did a diploma at a local college, and then I did 3 years at Nova School Contemporary Dance. And then from then, I danced for various dance companies, did Verve, danced at the Kappa Dance Theatre, did a few commercial gigs, did a couple of films, and then went back into theatre. And then from then, I then fell in love with teaching and choreography, started to do quite a fair bit of assisting work with professional choreographers. And then from that led into doing a lot more outreach stuff and working with the communities, which then obviously started to steer my career into teaching. And then started teaching for various youth companies across Yorkshire, and then went into education. And then now I'm here at Creative and Performing Arts College as an assistant vice principal and dance course pathway leader. So that's kind of my journey so far.
Awesome. Definitely quite the variety of things.
Yeah.
Do you think sort of getting a lot of information from different places has kind of helped give you more of a holistic view when it comes
Yeah,
to
absolutely. And I think in some ways has helped it for these sort of situations that we're in now. I think it's really, and do you know what, if I'm being very honest with you, it's something that I'd advise any young dancer starting out is just to keep their options completely open. It doesn't mean that you should do everything, but I think the more different skills that you've had, the more different teachers, the more different styles, and that's not just dance. Go and take a drama class, go and take a music class and things, because it all adds to it. It just makes you more versatile, and it also makes you more adaptable. So yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Tom, do you want to give a bit of background about yourself?
Of course. So I started dancing, I think I was about 13, 14. We had a lady called Tamsin come into my high school to do some breaking classes, and it was just like a one-off. Just in break and lunch, we take a tie off, do some breaking. And that kind of slowly fed in a bit more dance at high school. So I did GCSE dance at year 9. And then sort of by the end of high school, I joined Two Face Youth Dance Company. I don't know if you've heard of Two Face. So that was when they started way back in the day. So there was a group of like 10 young boys, and we were all really close, and we just trained mainly breaking, but fed a little bit of contemporary dance here and there. And that sort of gradually built up over time. And then went on to do Performing Arts College, started with everything, so musical theatre, singing, dancing, acting. Wasn't a fan of this whole singing side. Acting was okay, but then maybe just streamlined into dance in my second year. After that, went on to Northern, trained at Northern for 5 years, did foundation, degree, introvert. It was amazing. I say too long. It was a long time, but it was amazing. And then after that, moved on to professional touring work, mainly sort of 6-month contracts, your standard sort of 2-month rehearsals, and then touring for the rest of the 4 months. And there was 3 or 4 companies that I spent a lot of time with, like 2 to 4 years with different companies, and then other little project-based stuff. That was about 9 years of performing, and then slowly got into teaching. I've been at Kappa now for about 2.5 years. I started off sort of 1-2 days a week, moved up to 3 or 4, and now I've kind of left my performing career kind of behind me, and this is sort of full-time. And kind of moving and shifting careers now a little bit, but obviously still in the same field. So that's during the week, that is college, so 16 to 18-year-olds. And then on a Saturday, obviously, I do charge as well, which is the younger boys. The great thing about that is it's exactly how I started. It was professional people who have been in the arts, who've done the touring, who were teaching a group of young boys, like a tight-knit group, doing loads of different styles. So there's a big passion there for me, because that's exactly how I started, and that's exactly where my passion came from. So it's really nice to kind of come full circle and then be the one sort of inspiring the younger generation.
Awesome. And so you've both sort of got charged together. Am I correct there? Yeah.
It's Sean's thing. I wouldn't say together.
It's not my
There's
thing.
another guy as well, Gillette. He's down teaching at the minute. So there's kind of 3 of us, but Sean's the spearhead.
So Charge is basically the outreach and community platform or organisation, should I say, for Kappa College. So it's we do workshops with schools, communities. We've worked really closely with the local council. We've worked with children in care, where they've been taking part in music lessons. And Charge Boys is basically a boys program where it's like an advanced training scheme for them, where they meet every week and they participate in dance classes taught by obviously industry professionals, and it's taught by an all-male staff, because that's what we wanted. And then we also are developing Charge Boys into a drama scheme and a voices scheme. So yeah, so it's something that started and launched last year, September. So we're in our 2nd year doing it, yeah.
Awesome. And do you feel, I think in the world, there's still a little bit of that stigma that dance isn't for boys. So if someone were to say that to you, how would you kind of express your views on that?
I would say absolutely not. I would say that dance is for everybody. I used to, before previous doing this job now here at Kappa, I used to work in a secondary school where I had to teach dance from year 7 all the way up to year 13. And in year 7 and year 8, dance was on the curriculum. So I had to engage boys to do dance that maybe have never danced before, or they have no intention of doing dance because it's so uncool. But dance, to me, has proven that it can help with things like creative thinking, anger management. I've seen it help students with ADHD, students with dyslexia. You know, and I think it's if you think like that, then I think it's a narrow-minded way of thinking. Dance is for everybody, and I've seen boys that have participated in classes that, yeah, they've not gone the dance route, but they've used it. They've used it to engage them, to focus, to discipline them, to improve their mental thinking, their physicality, to be creative and adaptable in different situations, those approaches and stuff, to steer confidence. It gives them self-belief. So yeah, I would say absolutely, yeah, definitely. If anyone came up to me and asked me about that, I would say it's a no-go. And also, a lot of the boys that we have on a Saturday, we've had like massive conversations with them where we sit them down and we talk about why are you here, what's brought you to this room, and they all talk about, oh, dance at school, oh, you don't do dance at school for these reasons, you know. And these are all like lads as well. Like we've got a boy where he loves football, he loves all these things that you think boys should be doing, but dance is up there with it, you know. So there's more and more boys. I personally believe there's more and more boys that do love dance, but there's that peer pressure. And I think that's a sad thing, really. I don't think it's boys think, oh, it's not a cool thing. I think they do think it's a cool thing. It's just unfortunately society has labelled it to be more of a feminine thing to do.
Yeah.
But
I think there's a bit of a consensus with these boys that they will talk about some styles of dance, but they won't mention other styles.
yeah.
It's more classical forms, your ballet, your contemporary, but contemporary how a normal person sees contemporary. I think they're reluctant to speak about that and say they really enjoy that. But if they talk about the urban classes they get here, people think that's cool.
Yeah.
That's fine, and they talk about that, and that's acceptable. But I think the more classical stuff, that's where it becomes a bit more of a problem, I think. And that's why I think when I was younger, contemporary was kind of drip fed into the breaking part. Then it's still looked at as cool, and we'd work as hard as we can. If we were just given straight contemporary, we might have just scoured away from it a little bit.
Yeah.
Is then more classical forms.
Nice. Kind of going on from that point, for people that are going into teaching and say they're teaching at that younger age where people aren't 100% sure where they're going, what kind of advice would you have for creating that engaging environment for both girls and boys?
Okay, so that's a really good question. So I would say the environment needs to be an open environment. It needs to be an environment where students can feel comfortable, safe. It needs to be in an environment where there are maybe people that can inspire. So, for example, if I was a teacher, let's say I'm a PE teacher, and I want to inspire a few dance. I want to build dance within a school. I most probably will have a look at older students to maybe be a bit of a role model for younger students, get them to do maybe, I don't know, like a lunchtime club, a bit like how Tom started with Tanzin, you know, like start a bit of a club. That's what I would do. So use older students, and with that way of using older students to maybe be a bit of like an older mentor, it's kind of giving older students something to do as well. And you want to try and build up that legacy. So when the older students go, it keeps moving up. I'll say that. Get to know local other schools. That's what I would say. Invest in helping. I've got a bit of a list actually. Do you want to hear a bit of a list? Okay.
Absolutely.
This is mainly for boys though. So I'll get to know local schools, invest in helping them to offer dance. That again, this could be with a male student helping you out, just to inspire more boys. Make a big deal about it everywhere. That's really important. So like if you've got a dance club, put it in the school bulletin, put it on social media, hype it up as much as you can, because if you do that, it then becomes the norm. You know, it's not just the little thing that happens in the studio at lunchtime, you know, where you know, make it a big thing, hype it, make it become like part of the school's culture, create a platform, performance for your group, use that for other dancers to join in. So that could be basically an assembly. It could be an evening show where other students can come and watch it, engage, parents can see it, get people talking about dance a lot more. Open your facilities as well. So if you've got studio space, if you've got a gym hall, anything like that, open it up to maybe other schools. Just say, you know, we've got this going on. How do you want to collaborate? Because that's another thing. I think we're in a really lucky position here because we are a performing arts school, we are a performing arts college, but again, a lot of the students that come here have come from private schools. your private dance schools and whatnot, they would not engage in dance within school. And they will still say to this day, they wish that they had more dance in their school time. So I think teachers just need to communicate and talk to one another. And again, I'm going back to PE. And the reason I'm going back to PE is because the majority of teachers that are delivering dancing education are PE teachers. And they need help. They do, and I think it's just reaching out to organisations like things like that, and ask for help. You know, and I think that's one thing that Charge is about. It's about working closely with schools to engage dance within on their curricula. But yeah, that's something that I would do. Tom,
in terms of girls and boys and getting people to sort of improve together at a level, go back to the whole different dance forms. I think versatility and variety of classes really helps. So here at Kappa, you'll have a lot of girls, like Sean's saying, who have done their ballet, tap, jazz from a really young age, and they're at quite a high level. And generally, girls will be better in ballet and maybe jazz. Generally, you have your exceptions. And then the guys might be better with the more upper body strength. So it's good to have that versatility. So in a ballet class, yeah, some guys might feel a bit weaker and they might feel judged by people with a bit of a higher ability. Even though they're not judged, they might feel that. But then when they go to another class, say an urban class, they then feel a bit better in that class. So I think variety helps people feel confident and in at least one style, where you just have that one class and you're always feeling like you're the weaker in the group. I think that can get people down. So I think a bit of versatility and variety where people shine in different classes really helps.
Yeah,
improve together.
And also another thing who I strongly, highly do recommend is Ballet Boys. They have done a lot of online stuff for schools for younger ages, like so your key stage 2s and 3s, to really, really engage in dance. They've done so much stuff, like really cool lesson planning for teachers, where literally a teacher can log on to it and they actually teach the lesson. It's so good. So they've really invested in terms of education. So that's another tip. Another person, Ashley Banjo, he's done a lot for schools as well. He's done so much online resources of how to engage kids moving within school. So again, that will be an advice that I would give someone if they needed the support in doing that. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. There's been such valuable information. Thank you very much. If people are wanting to sort of follow what you guys are doing, connect with you, where could they go to do that?
Brilliant. So we have, we've got our website, which is Kappa College, .co.uk on that website. And if you want to, if you scroll to get involved, it will then bring you directly to Charge, everything to do with getting involved. So that's participating in the workshop, knowing more about our college, or if it's wanting to know about our Charge Boys program or performances, everything is on there. So it's kappacollege.co.uk. Yeah. What? Our Instagram is the same. Oh God, sorry, yeah. It is, yeah, our Instagram, yeah, our social media. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter is just like at Kappa College. Okay, so
Perfect.
Yeah, you should be able to find us there.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, guys, for being on today. It's been great.
Oh, thank you. It's been lovely having a chat about this. It's important. And
yeah,
I think it's
100%.